Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we're lucky to have 3-2 flyweight, who's got a huge fight coming up on October 9th. Jade, Evil Smile, Masson-Wong. How's it going today?
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you. So just wanted to talk, a little bit about your career so far, and then obviously you got a big opportunity ahead of you this week. So just speak to kind of how you got into MMA and fighting, and kind of how it took off from there.
Okay, I started fighting in MMA since I'm 18 years old, and I started to do amateur fight in 2014. So it's like 7 years ago, and now with Bernacle, I wanted a new challenge. So with the pandemic and all, I have the opportunity to go with that, and I say, let's go. Why not? I will try it.
Yeah, that sounds good. And like you said, it's been tough here in Canada. You know, I'm just south of Toronto here with cards. They're just starting to come back, MMA cards. So I don't blame you for trying to take an opportunity somewhere else, right? Yeah. So for this upcoming fight, who will be in your corner for that?
My friend, she's a professional boxer. I made all my training camp with her I trained with her since the last year, and my other coach cannot go because of the vaccine. So that's why.
What a world we're living in, eh?
Yeah, yes, it complicates everything. So that's why she come with me, but I'm confident with her. She know me, and I train with her every week, so she know me a lot.
Yeah, and it's good to be comfortable going in there, right? Yeah. Just in the last few years, or just, what gym have you been training out of mostly?
I'm from Quebec City, so my first gym is Nova Gym in Quebec, but I go in a lot of gym. This is a MMA gym, but I go to a boxing gym. It's Energy Box. I go to do conditioning in another sport evolution. I went to a 3-star a couple of times in Montreal. I went to Ontario too. 2 years ago, I went to Vegas like 5 weeks. So I like to move and try other gym to have more style.
Yeah, get some different looks, different types of fighters, different styles, like you said. That's awesome. So just, I've watched you a few times on TKO and obviously BFL. So you were 3-0. And then the next 2 losses were actually against, a girl that just got signed to the UFC and another Canadian, obviously, that was close to being signed to the UFC. That still could happen. So, I mean, you were doing fantastic and you fought against really good competition. So did you decide to kind of take a new challenge with bare knuckle, I guess because of the mixture of that and because of the pandemic stuff, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that's true, because that's why, and there was a lot of changing during the pandemic, not just the pandemic, but on the personal side. So I needed to do something new, and try other thing. I think I'm at the good place with bare knuckle.
Yeah, I think so too, and I know we're excited to watch that this upcoming week. So this will be your debut for them, and you're fighting Crystal Pittman, and this is on October 9th. So just, do you know anything about her? How do you think you match up with her for this experience?
Honestly, I don't know a lot of this girl. I tried to see to find some fight on the internet or something, but there's nothing.
I went to look too. There was nothing.
I really don't know. It will be a surprise, but it's okay. I train hard and I train a lot, so I will be ready for all. I can imagine she will be this or she will be that. but we'll see. We'll see. But I'm ready. I'm ready, and I know. I think she's a little bit bigger, a little bit taller than me, but it's okay for me. I don't care, and that's it. When I saw she was supposed to fight in August, and her girl had a problem with the visa. So when I saw that, I said to my manager, I could take her if she don't have an opponent for the next event, and they give me her. So I was really happy.
Yeah, awesome. And just to speak, moving forward here, do you have more than a 1-fight contract with them, or?
I signed for 5 fights.
Oh, 5 fights. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure about that. So that's awesome. You know what you're kind of going to do, and you have a plan in place, and that's all that matters. And like we were saying before, all that really matters is that you've done the training and you've put in the work. So it doesn't really matter who you fight. You're ready.
You are confident in your training and your preparation. That's the key, I think.
Absolutely. So just, outside of the ring, outside of training, what are some of the hobbies that you like to do? What are some fun things you like to do on the side?
I like to do motorcycle. I love.
I did see a picture. I saw a motorcycle picture. So
I love it. It's my first summer with the bike. I passed my license in May, so I'm really. It's like a drug. I always, if I have 1 hour and it's a good weather, I go outside do bike, and I love to pass time with my dogs. I have 2 big dogs, and I do photography too, just for fun. I have some friends; they are photographer, so that's the kind of thing I like to do.
awesome. Yeah, what kind of dogs do you have?
It's I have 2 lab boxer. The son, the father, and the son is lab boxer pit bull.
Awesome.
They are
Good mix.
2 black dogs.
Awesome. Yeah, so our last segment here is called Between Rounds. It'll be 1 minute. I'm going to ask you some questions and just give me your best answer, okay?
Okay.
What's your favorite kind of cheat meal after a fight?
It's breakfast. I think it's the dessert. No, it's the dessert, not the breakfast. It's dessert. I love to cheesecake and things like that.
There we go. What's your favorite spot in Labelle, Quebec?
My favorite spot for what?
In Quebec.
My home.
There you go. What's your favorite place to travel to? A place you've been to outside of Quebec that's your favorite to travel to?
I like Vegas and Florida. Yeah, I want to go to Florida after the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. What about your favorite kind of music?
It's my favorite band in Slipknot. Is Slipknot. I always enter on their song on my fight. So it will be the same the next week.
Growing up, my buddy and I, that's also on this podcast, we listen to a lot of Slipknot, so we're fans of Corey.
Oh, yeah?
Corey, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about favorite MMA fighters of all time?
Before I like Ronda Rousey. I like Rose Namajunas, Valentina. She's a beast. I like many MMA fighters.
Yeah, she looked great last weekend, as always, Valentina.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any shout outs or sponsors or social media to finish up?
My sponsor have Autobus Auger. I have Louis Lessard, Société Immobilière. I have Entrepôt Modulo. My father, Century 21, Les Tourneaux and Ed Rush. And that's it. That's it.
Awesome. Yeah. So on October 9th, it's the start of a new journey for you, a new experience, a new winning streak is going to start that night too. And we can't wait to watch that. Jade Masson-Wong, this is Hooks and MMA. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks to you.
No problem. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye. Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we're lucky to have 5-1 strawweight, and got a big fight this Saturday, October 9th, and we have some news that we'll talk about a little bit later too. Lupita, Loopy, Godinez, how's it going today?
Really good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, so I guess we'll just speak quickly. We were supposed to speak a little bit earlier, but you had a stressful day. They told you you got an opponent change. Your opponent was Sam Hughes, and I guess she tested positive for COVID. So they found someone else to replace you. So just, do you know who that is? And how do you feel about that quick change just a few days before you fight?
Well, I think her coach is the one that got COVID, and because they were together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I think that's what happened. It's always stressful when you get that call and you don't know what's going on. Your management is like, call me. And I was freaking out for a little bit. And then he's like, "Bah, we got a new opponent." I'm like, okay, who is it? And he told me she's from Entram in Tijuana, Mexico. So that's great. I'm just happy that I'm gonna be, fighting. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to just go home like lame, So I'm just happy. I'm still here. I'm fighting. So whatever.
Yeah, like you said, you've put in the work, and it would suck to hear on a Tuesday your opponent backed out, or not that she backed out on purpose, but she was forced out, and you got to go home. We didn't find a replacement, but they worked and found a good replacement for you. So you still get to show your magic on Saturday, right?
Yeah, she's supposed to fight next weekend, this girl, for Contender Series. So I guess, she gets to have the contract. So that's perfect.
Yeah, it's good for both. So yeah, you were born in Mexico, correct?
Yes.
Whereabouts were you born, and then when did you move to Canada?
I born in Aguascalientes, and I moved to Canada when I was 14, so about 13 years ago.
Did you move with your family? It was just kind of like a change change of lifestyle kind of thing, or?
Yeah, my family decided to move for there was kind of danger. It was kind of dangerous in Mexico, and yeah, my dad pretty much was like, yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah. And it's worked out for you in terms of your career. Obviously, you've made it to the UFC, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But just curious, for this Saturday, who's in your corner and the gym you're currently training out of?
Yeah, so my corner will be Ken, Nabil, and my boyfriend. Sorry.
No worries.
Ken, Nabil, and my boyfriend, which they're same people.
Same as always. Yeah, and so you fought in BTC, LFA, Combate. Just speak to kind of like your experience in those shows, which are tremendous shows at the local scene that helped you, obviously obtain a UFC contract.
Yeah, every fight, actually those two fights that you mentioned, they were short notice fights, like 2 weeks, 1.5 week. So yeah, I mean, it was great. They worked out, maybe I could have performed better, but it was like too fast and my weight cut, too quick. So yeah, I'm really excited for this fight because my weight is fine, honestly, and I feel great. I have a lot of energy, so really happy.
Yeah, so your first UFC fight, I think we talked a little while back. You fought with Jessica Pena, and I know I was congratulating on you on your Penne, sorry. Your performance, I thought, was definitely good enough to win, and you lost a split decision. I mean, that happens. They always say never leave it in the hands of the judges, but in my opinion, you won that fight. So just, your first fight in the UFC, how was that experience, and what do you take away from that and apply in your next match here this Saturday?
Yeah, I took that fight in 2-week notice. I had COVID the week before, 2 weeks before, a week before. So it was just like something after something, and I had to fly to the States right away, like right the next day. And everything was so rushed,
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say no, and I took it. I had to have massive weight cut, but yeah, I mean, we did it, and that my performance, I wasn't super happy with my performance because it wasn't myself. I'm way better than that, but that's what happened, and that's in the past, and I'm here now, and I'm just enjoying every single.
And I would say, like, in life, we're always our own biggest critic, right? And I appreciate you saying that about yourself. Like when I watched, I think you still won, even though it wasn't your best performance. So I think that's something to take away too into your next fight this weekend. You fought maybe not at your best, but you still performed really well. And even though you got a late second change here for this Saturday, I know it sounds like you're prepared. So I was going to talk a little bit about Sam Hughes, but obviously that's not happening. So just excited to see this on Saturday. When we're done talking here, I'm going to look up and see who you're fighting, and we'll see what happens. But hoping you get the W. Just outside of training and fighting, what are some of the hobbies you like to do outside of that?
I just love to hang out with my family and hang out with my boyfriend, my dog. So that's pretty much what I do. Go take my dog out. If my dog is having fun, I'm happy. So
yeah. What kind of dog is it?
He's a Formosa Monta dog, and he's a rescue from Taiwan.
Oh, no way. So how old?
He's almost 2 years now.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so that takes up a lot of time, eh?
Oh yeah, he has so much energy.
That's awesome. Yeah, so our last section here is called Between Rounds. I'm going to ask you a question. You give me your best answer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite cheat meal after a fight?
Hamburger.
What's your favorite spot in Mexico? If somebody's never been there before, where would you tell them to go to?
Oh. I don't know. That stuff. Oh, okay. Well, if you go eat to Mexico, like usually you go to a restaurant, like fancy restaurants, but like the best place to go is like in a house with someone like making,
like home cooking.
Yeah, like that's the best. You
Yeah.
don't get better than that.
Is there a spot in the world that you've traveled to that's your favorite other than Mexico and Canada?
Nope, I haven't traveled. I'm not a big fan of traveling
No?
so far. No, I don't. Well, I have a better taste for traveling because every time I travel is for fights, and then I cannot eat, and then I cannot drink water. So I gotta like give it a try, but in a vacation. Honestly, I haven't had a vacation since I moved to Canada, which is like 13 years. I haven't had like a proper vacation, like a week off that everything is paid for, and then I'm just gonna enjoy myself in the swimming pool. No, I haven't had that. So, but soon, and yeah.
So maybe you deserve that coming up soon.
Yeah, soon.
What's like your favorite TV series that you watch, or could be a favorite movie?
I'm not really into watching. Yeah, I'm really like, I'm always moving around. I'm always doing stuff. As you can tell, I'm kind of, all over the place. So I have a hard time just sitting and watching something. So yeah, I just go out with my dog.
Do you have a favorite like MMA fighter of all time, or a couple that you looked up to before you got into it, kind of thing?
GSP.
Yeah, it's pretty hard not to go against that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So just any sponsor shout outs or social media before we finish up?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
And everyone that is being with me since day one. And I really want to thank my main sponsor, which is HRW, Hydrogen Water. If you haven't tried it, you should try it. Honestly, it helps me so much to recover after my workouts and stuff. Yeah, absolutely love it. And Woman of Combat, and yeah, my boyfriend, my family, even my dog.
Yeah. Well, the support system's the most important, right? So family, boyfriend, dog, those are key components to a successful
coaches, teammates. Yeah, just everyone that has been with me, honestly, like, and people just keep adding, and it's so great, like it's like a big family. So it's so good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I was happy to that we were able to do this, and unfortunately that your original fight you're working towards is no more, but the Saturday's rebooked, and you're still fighting, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good luck with that, and really happy to talk to you today. Lupita, Loopy, Godinez, this is Hooks and MMA. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we're lucky to have 18-4-1 featherweight. He's got a big fight coming up on October 9th. Damon, the Leech Jackson. How's it going today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Appreciate your time.
Sure.
I guess just speak to you know, how the fight camp's going this time around, and who will be in your corner on the 9th.
I'm actually gonna have two of my buddies and then my head coach. Like, so normally I have my head coach say if he's in all of our corner for at Fortis, and I actually just have two of my buddies. One's from California and one's in Hawaii. So they're both stationed out there. So they're both in the military. They're coming out just for a fight. So I usually only have coach say if he's like my only cornerman. Yeah, I've had to fight for plenty of time to prep for it. Good, just come to my camp. I have wrestling tonight, and just kind of do like a little walk through the fight and just get ready for the weight cut.
Yeah, and you know, it's approaching quickly. It's crazy to think next week is October.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah, it really is.
I did see you know, recently in the last few months, fellow Canadian TJ Laramie, you were supposed to fight, and that fight fell through. So, you know, were you disappointed about that? And then how quickly after was it booked with Charles Rosa?
Yeah, you know, me and TJ were supposed to fight back in maybe March, like the end of, like our beginning of March, and I had the fight like in January, so I had it for like over 2 months. I had it for a long time, and then he ended up getting hurt like 2 weeks before the fight, and so they matched me up with Luke Sanders on a 1 week notice, and I was down to fight. I just told him, I was like, yeah, I'll fight whoever, just get someone that'll step up, and Luke Sanders took the fight, and then it's crazy is he actually came out and lost. Whoever the replacement was, he actually lost to the replacement, so it didn't look good for him. So I think they actually released him. But anyway, so I had that fight with TJ. He fell out, had Luke Sanders, and then I got hurt a week before the fight. I was taking someone down, and whenever I hit a double leg on him, I cut the angle and I ran it, and I ended up lifting him up in the air, and I landed on my shoulder, and I had a grade 1 separation. So it wasn't like horrible. I didn't have to have surgery or anything. I just had to kind of really not do anything for about a month. It was kind of rough to just sit back and to have the fight and then have to pull out and not go into another fight camp. It was kind of annoying, but I ended up recovering from that like about a month later, and was ready to go. So I was trying to book a fight really since like, the beginning of the summer. I was kind of begging for a fight, and I couldn't get a fight at first. And I don't know what, it was just kind of weird. It didn't work out good, but then I ended up getting one. So, I just wanted to get 2 more in this year. I was hoping for this fight and then 1 more. So had to have a good performance, go out there strong and not take a lot of damage, and try to get 1 more in this year.
Yeah, and we hope for that too. So just to speak of your career, I mean, you're in the UFC. You've fought in LFA. You fought in Bellator, PFL. You fought in all the best promotions, and it's you've never avoided or any like any of the lower promotions. You've always looked for the best. So just speak to your experience in all these like really good promotions.
Yeah, a lot of people they don't realize that like I've went through all these different promotions, and honestly, like LFA and the UFC, where they've treated me the best. So like I would never go anywhere else but the UFC. I want to be there because that's where all the best, best, highest ranking guys are in the UFC. So that's where I want to be competing. And without LFA, man, I don't know where I would be, just because before the UFC, I was in I think it was LFC with when Mick Maynard was the owner, and I was a champion there. I beat Leonard Garcia, got the title, and went to the UFC. And then as soon as I got released, I called Ed. He was the new owner. I called Ed Soros and told him, I was like, hey, man, you know, like, you guys are coming to Dallas a lot. Like, get me back on the card. So he got me right back into that title mix. And, you know, I was throwing it down right away. And, you know, that promotion is so good. LFA is so good for me and so good for a lot of guys to kind of get that boost to get in there. And, you know, but that was it was rough to get cut so early in my career because, you know, I made it into the UFC like a year and a half into my career. So I really had no experience at all. I just was a wrestler that, you know, I had pretty good jiu-jitsu from just drilling with some teammates. But besides that, I really didn't have anything but wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So whenever I made it in and got cut quick, you know, I was just getting started. So it's been a long trip, but definitely learned a lot, you know, over the years and enjoyed it for sure.
And I think with all like the talent at a young age and then your experience in the other promotions, it all comes back around and you've been, you know, rewarded with that other opportunity here in the UFC.
100%. Yeah. I just stay busy, you know, trying to get as many fights as I can just because it's like, I know I won't be able to do this forever. So
Absolutely.
I'll fight for whoever, you know.
Yeah, and LFA, you know, CFFC, those are a couple of my favorite smaller promotions because they really are the stepping stone for the UFC, right? So tremendously run and
yeah, no, I mean, like, honestly, just like the pay scale is quite a bit different. But besides that, like, you got to build your way up. And whenever I was first starting to fight, I was making like, you know, like $300 to fight, like 300. It was like 3 and 3, and that was my payday, and I was so happy to get like $600 for a rear naked choke and like 10 stitches or something stupid, like just dumb one. Like a lot of my fights, I got really good at selling tickets. That's why I had such a good promotion or such a good relationship with LFA, is because they would come to Dallas and I would sell like 25,000 in tickets. And so you're talking about selling like, you know, a couple hundred, you know, $50 tickets. And it was a lot of fun because I got to meet a lot of people and I got a lot of fans out of it. And a lot of my hometown would come to the fights and stuff. But like, whenever I first started fighting, I used to have to sell tickets to make money. That was the only way that I would make money, because I would go into the fight and they would literally say on your contract, they're like, we're gonna give you $2,000 in tickets. If you sell $2,000, you get $2,000. If you sell $50, that's all you get. So like, you know, it just depends on how motivated you are to make the money. So you know, that I appreciate LFA and all those guys for giving me my start for sure.
Yeah, and getting those fans and selling those tickets just speaks to you know how hard you work, right? So so Charles Rosa, October 9th, he potentially could have been cut after his last fight, and he got a split decision win. So you know, he's back in the winning column. What do you think about him? How do you match up against him?
You know, like I think that I match up great with a lot of guys on the ground. I think that getting the fights in the ground with him is going to be the fight. It's going to be the battle, is you know, getting it down safely without getting myself in a position where he can submit me or like exposes me with you know, with counter wrestling to boxing or something. But you know, like he kind of talks a lot of smack, and I didn't realize that he was about that. Like I thought he was pretty chill, and you know, I don't really have anything negative to say about him. He's a solid dude. You know, it seems like he's there to fight every fight. You know, so I think that we're both of us coming forward in our forward style. I think that I'll win that wrestling battle all day, and the fight's going to go to the ground eventually for sure. And you know, I don't see a lot of submission threats from him. But, you know, at the end of the day, I respect him for sure because he's a vet. He's been around for a while. But I see me going out there and winning the grappling side of things and taking care of that. And then, you know, just going forward. That's my game plan always, is go forward. There's no secret to that.
Yeah. And you've seen that in many of your performances. What kind of hobbies do you have outside of training and fighting?
Well, like I have 4 daughters. So a lot of my time spent like doing like whatever they have. They're like, both of my girls play very, very high level competitive soccer. They play select soccer year round. And my oldest is just started middle school and she's playing volleyball. I'm actually missing her game tonight because I have wrestling practice. And but like, you know, besides that, like doing all their stuff, you know, we're always going fishing, or we go fishing or hunting all the time, and then that's really about it outside of their sports.
Awesome. Yeah, I do both of those things too and love them dearly.
Yeah.
Our last section here is called Between Rounds. I'm going to rapid fire a few questions for you. You give me your best answer.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
First one is favorite sport other than MMA.
You know, honestly, favorite sport to watch is football, and then hockey. Hockey's become like, you know, I didn't really get into hockey until just like the last like 3 years ago, and now I'm like a diehard fan. And you know, it's something that I really get into football more because the season lasts a little bit longer,
Yeah.
or it seems like it's televised a lot more. You know, it's just a little different, but just being in America. But I would say football and then hockey.
Cowboys and Stars fan?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
diehard Cowboys, but you know, definitely Stars. That was my first team just because I went to the game live, because I've watched a bunch of them on TV. But one of my buddies, he has like you know, the glass seats like up front, right on the glass, badass seats. So when we go to the game, it's like you're there, like
It's a
you're
legit
fan,
experience.
like, oh, it's so cool, man! Insane, yeah.
What's your favorite cheat meal after a fight?
Yeah, what was your question? It was breaking up when you said
Yeah, no worries. Just your favorite cheat meal after a fight.
Oh, cheat meal. Yeah, definitely. Like my go-to is like the night, like as soon as my fight's over, and then it's donuts. That's my favorite thing is donuts.
There
So
we
like
go.
as soon as the fight's over, I have a cheeseburger and donuts, and that's really about. I don't really go that far outside of that. I usually have like some bad food for about 2 or 3 days, but I don't like I don't overdo it. You know, I used to kind of like, you know, eat horrible for like 3 or 4 days, but now I just kind of like I get a handful of things that I like you know, cheeseburger, donuts, maybe like some like bagels or something, like just some random, some usually just carbs. That's usually what I crave. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's usually just a cheeseburger and donuts. But,
Do you have a couple of favorite mixed martial artists of all time?
Yeah, you know, like Frankie Edgar probably is my favorite. You know, it's just something about like whenever I first started training, watching him and him go through his like prime where he was just so tough. Like, you know, every fight you just knew that he was going to be there fighting hard. And I just became a really big fan of him. You know, that's really from day one. I've been Frankie Edgar. And then I would say like GSP, obviously, like it's kind of cliche, it's a GSP. And then, you know, just watching the control that he had on top was pretty awesome. And I'm not really a big Khabib fan, but like I would say GSP's wrestling, and then Khabib on top, just watching him kind of move around is pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and how do you think October 9th finishes up?
Oh, I'm going to go forward, man. I promise you that. I'm going to go out there and go heavy, aggressive forward, and looking for that something. Maybe that's something I can give you. This is first up.
Awesome. Any sponsors or social media you wanted to?
No, you know what's crazy is that I don't even have that on my phone. I had a Facebook page that my sister made like years ago.
Yeah.
And so if someone like sends me a message on there, she'll send me a text and be like, hey, I just gave this guy your number, or I just told this person whatever. And so like I don't even get on my Facebook. And then I made a Twitter, and I get on Twitter, I log on it through Safari. So I don't have any sponsors or anything on there. But I just you know, like it's a useful tool whenever I need it. But I don't have any social media besides that, and I don't ever get on it. So if anyone ever messages me, it might take me like a few weeks to respond. So, but yeah, no social media sponsors or anything.
So you can thank your sister from me for that, getting back to me.
Sure.
And
I told her, I'm like, hey man, anybody wants to interview, like I'm down. Just, you know, send them my number. And you know, if people talk smack, she might tell me something every once in a while, but it's pretty funny. But pretty chill most of the time.
Yeah,
Nothing crazy.
for sure. So
I feel like you have to be looking for it. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Very, very excited for October 9th, and we appreciate your time. Damon the Leech, Jackson, this is Hooks and MMA. Thanks so much, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.